30 years ago, the accident at 3 Mile Island dealt what appeared to be a knockout blow to America's nuclear industry. There wasn't a domestic order for a new power plant for a generation. Well, as a result, the supply chain withered as suppliers went out of business or retooled to meet the needs of new customers. Well, now the game is changing with rising global demand for energy and global concerns about carbon. Big orders for nuclear plants are pouring into our region from Asia and even the United States. It's creating an opportunity for former and would-be suppliers as well. Jack Lanzone is a vice president of the supply chain for Westinghouse Electric Company, and Jim Drake is general manager of the ElectroMechanical Division of Curtiss Wright in Cheswick, Pennsylvania. Welcome. Good to see both of you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to just start with you, Jim, because you mentioned before we started that it was 20 years ago I actually came out to do a story on Curtiss Wright, right?
Right.
Back around 1990, a company was doing really well, and then it got a little lean given what happened to some of your customers, right?
Right. Downturn in the nuclear power business being one of them.
Yeah, but turning around now?
Yes, we've grown several hundred people over the last 10 years, and a lot of that is due, or some of it is due to the upturn in the commercial nuclear business.
Just so if people don't know Curtiss Wright, what exactly do you do here in our region?
We make a bunch of different products for the nuclear navy, pumps, generators, propulsion systems, and we make components and products for Westinghouse for the old nuclear supply systems and for the new AP1000.
Okay, and it is a new nuclear industry in a lot of ways. This is not your father's nuclear power plant, right, Jim?
No, it's totally different now. The basic nuclear technology has not changed significantly, although the safety of the new plants is far superior to the ones that we currently have, although we have an extremely high safety record on the existing plants today. But what has changed dramatically has been the whole concept of how we construct a plant and how we support a plant through the supply chain. And what I mean by that is that we've converted from what we used to call a stick build, which was each individual piece was constructed on the site to finally build the plant, to a modular concept where large portions of the plant are literally pre-built, then transported to the site and assembled on site. And we feel that this will significantly improve the time to operation for the plant and cut the construction costs and the construction time down dramatically.
It really is a whole global supply chain activity now, right?
Absolutely. The concept of supply now is a global concept. We have supply base that has been in place in Asia, particularly in South Korea and Japan, because they've continued to build new plants over the past 30 years. There's a supply base in Europe that was used to support the new plant build in Europe as well. What we're trying to do now is try to develop an equally strong supply base within the U.S. so that we have a philosophy in Westinghouse of buying where we build. And the concept there is to have as much contribution to the local economy and also minimize the time to construction by eliminating risk and transport and the time to transport major pieces of equipment. So it's key to us now to try to develop a strong North American supply base as well.
And so essentially rebuilding what existed 30 years ago, but it sounds like it's a much more sophisticated supply chain you have to rebuild.
Well, I think the demands are significant. As Jim would attest to, the requirements of being a nuclear supplier are quite a bit different and quite a bit more stringent than most commercial applications. And the requirement there is in regards to safety and quality, because in our industry we have to have a philosophy of zero defects and zero mistakes. Okay, so the demands on our supply base to be able to perform to that level is significant.
Clearly, to deliver that kind of quality product, you need really quality people. Have you been able to find the people you need, and are you going to need more as you look ahead?
We're aged workforce, so we have a lot of experience, and we're adding people with experience from the local industry to help us. So we've been successful in adding the people we need.
Yeah, well, as you say, an older workforce is great from an experience standpoint, but in the long run, if there's a lot of growth, it could be hard to keep up with all of this.
Right.
Well, one of the things that we've done well, I think, at Westinghouse is what we call knowledge transfer. There's a lot of people that had retired from the industry or were aging in the industry that have now decided to stay on or even come back. And part of that is generated by the excitement of the opportunity to be building new plants again. So what we're taking advantage of at this time is the ability to take that knowledge that those people had accumulated over those years and set up formal programs where we can get that knowledge transferred to the new workers coming into the industry.
All right, well, you've teed up our next next segment, Jack Lanzone, Vice President of Supply Chain for Westinghouse, Jim Drake, General Manager of the Electromechanical Division of Curtiss Wright and Chesapeake. Thank you both so much. Appreciate it.